The focus of the show is Mandy's recent surge in fan interest as the new weatherwoman. At first, Georgie is quite proud of this and ready to begin boasting about his beautiful, prosperous wife. But when he discovers that most of the attention she has been receiving has been from males who are interested in her, things go south for him. The cliché of the jealous husband is not new. At best, it is stale, and at worst, it is disgusting. Having said that, the episode does a startlingly fantastic job of presenting Georgie's jealousy as real rather than as awkward possessiveness. Throughout the entire episode, Georgie is completely honest about his displeasure with the increased attention Mandy has been receiving. It also does an excellent job of making him appear less of a territorial jerk to the audience, even though he isn't presented as being in the right person. Georgie's personality is well represented in this episode. He's straightforward, but if you ignore his notorious age-related lie, at least he's generally honest. At the same time, the episode doesn't blame Mandy for getting more attention. In truth, the episode shows them both listening to each other's opinions after they quarrel about it in the car. That sincere concern is endearing. It's also surprising that the dispute isn't resolved in a tidy bow at the conclusion. All things considered, the finale is a little cruel. The episode culminates with Georgie trying to reprimand a man who is making advances on a bartender, only to get physically assaulted for it. The episode concludes with Mandy receiving a really upsetting piece of fan mail. Although it was a little disappointing, this lack of resolution makes sense given the show's larger context. However, the title of the show is Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, not Georgie and Mandy's Flawless, Long-Lasting Marriage. Connor McAllister is battling his own issues while Georgie and Mandy argue over their most recent argument. Connor finds it difficult to win over the supporters as the volunteer organizer for the neighborhood baseball club. Even though this B-plot takes up a lot less of the program, there are still many fantastic moments, particularly between Connor and Jim. Jim continues to play the role of mentor from the previous episode by giving Connor some guidance on how to be a baseball organist, with some intriguing outcomes. These scenes are fantastic because they show Jim battling for his life in those chats while also highlighting how much he really wants to be there for Connor. In response to Jim's counsel, Connor asks a flurry of unrelated inquiry. The advice he gives that truly sticks is to just have fun with it. Connor interprets this as meaning, perform an electronic remix of the national anthem, which is hilarious, much like Fergie's 2018 rendition of the American national anthem. Fan mail and old-timey organ music is a much better example of the slice of relatable comedy that Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage frequently focuses on. It's not flawless, but the faster pacing, increased number of jokes, and genuine sweet moments make the unresolved marital conflict worth watching. In Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Episode 2, Mandy's job search plays a significant part. It also may have contributed to Georgie and Mandy's eventual divorce by starting the argument that makes Georgie lose her temper and go for a drive. Georgie finds Mandy's suggestion to apply for jobs outside of Medford to be the last straw because he believes it is unjust to ask him to do so when he has family there. Even while Georgie's outburst is obviously more related to her being summoned by Missy's school, it nevertheless serves to underline the divergent positions of Georgie and Mandy. Mandy's desire to relaunch her career was already a controversial topic in young Sheldon. In fact, after CC was born, Georgie refused to let Mandy interview for her previous job because she didn't think she wanted to live outside the house. Even though Georgie is much more encouraging in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Episodes 1 and 2, Mandy's desire to leave Medford if it would further her profession still conflicts with Georgie's goals for their future. Their radically different points of view could contribute to the issues that eventually resulted in Georgie and Mandy's divorce if they persisted. When Georgie is called by Missy's school due to her suspension, he is immediately persuaded of how inadequate his supervision of his family is. Missy appears remorseless and reluctant to comprehend how it could endanger her future, as evidenced by her casual attitude in receiving a suspension for setting off the fire alarm and her scheme to keep Mary from ever learning about it. Despite his discomfort with the revelation, Georgie tries his best to help Missy, but the experience clearly highlights Mary's lack of presence. Mary's metamorphosis from a compassionate character in young Sheldon to a villain following the events of Season 7 was already revealed on The Big Bang Theory. Nevertheless, the parent series also